I can't believe it's done. I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I'm really excited.
Oh!
In this Haltech Hero, we're visiting with Larry Chen, a famous automotive photographer and all-around awesome car guy. Unfortunately, due to travel restrictions and COVID awareness in general, we couldn't make the journey out to California for this Haltech Hero. Thankfully, the man behind the camera is well versed in how to make a car look good. Take it away, Larry.
Hey everyone, my name is Larry Chen. I'm coming to you from my shop in sunny Southern California. I am a car culture and automotive photographer.
His first love was this 1970 Datsun 240Z. Let's hear what Larry has to say about this wicked little Datsun.
Behind me is my 1970 240Z. Growing up in Southern California, it was only natural for me to get into cars and car culture. Racing, drag racing, street culture, all of that is here. And growing up, you know, I see all my friends getting nice school cars. I definitely wanted to be a part of that gang. So on my 21st birthday, I bought my Datsun 240Z 1970 for $3,000 US. You definitely cannot find anything like that for this price anymore. But since then, it's come quite a long way. When I first got it, I took it out for a drive on my birthday, and it started making all these crazy noises, popping, banging noises. And it turns out it was just low on fuel and the fuel gauge was not working. So right away, I kind of gave it a nickname because it was popping and banging. I gave it the name Orange Bang. The engine that I have in it now is a SR20 red top from a S13. It's a 2-liter, 4-cylinder. It does have forged pistons and it is a built bottom end. This was actually used in Formula Drift, and I actually got it out of a wrecked car. So this did dyno at 300 horsepower to the wheels and 277 foot-pounds of torque on Z-Car Garage's dyno jet, and that is running on pump fuel. For the ECU, we are running the Haltech Elite 1000, and that's mounted right here near the passenger footwell. This does come with the plug-and-play adapter harness, which is specifically for the SR20 DET. Before we put the Haltech in it, we actually had another standalone ECU that was more catered to the racetrack. But as soon as we used it for a street car, it just did not work. It wouldn't idle when it was cold, so there was no sort of cold start program. It was impossible to drive on the street. You couldn't just start it and go on the street. It would constantly die at stop signs, at red lights, whatever. Now with the Haltech Elite 1000, it's so amazing. It's so much easier. It cranks up right away, and there's like a good cold start program, so it keeps the idle up. It doesn't die when you come to a stop. It runs like a top, exactly how it should. Just like from the factory. It's so nice to drive now. It is running a Garrett GT28 turbo. For the rear end, I'm running a R180, actually off of a 2005 Subaru STI. It's pretty much a direct bolt-on. We are running Z-Car Garage axles. For the suspension, I'm running KW coilovers. They have an awesome setup where you essentially send them your cores and they turn them into KW V3 coilovers. The brakes are amazing. They are actually developed by StopTech Engineering here in Southern California for Z-Car Garage. They stop so good. I've had every single type of brake system, I feel like, for this car. The wheels are actually really special. They're Southern Ways Epsilons. They are 15 by 8, and the guys at Love 20B, Matt, is amazing. He actually built these wheels for me custom. The barrels are brand new, and it just fits so nice. It sits amazing. The tires, I'm running Yokohama Advan AO52s. These are super sticky, and honestly, these are pretty much the craziest street tires you can run on any car. The guys at Z Car Garage really went out of their way with the cooling system. So they installed a brand new Mishimoto radiator, and they made all of this ducting to essentially force the air through the front, through every single cooler. This actually does have air conditioning. It has a vintage air system, as I will show you guys in here. It has a vintage air system. It has a sound system because it is a street car. Other than that, we do have an anti-gravity battery in this. It's super lightweight, and it does have a restart button, which is nice. Essentially, what it does is when it gets to a certain power level, it actually shuts off and goes into sleep mode. So then you can jumpstart it by itself just by pushing that button, which does come in handy because sometimes I just don't get to drive this as often as I'd like, and it just kind of sits there for a while. So anytime the battery's dead, I just go push that button and I can start it. Other than that, on the body side, we do have a Seibon carbon fiber hood. They make amazing hoods, and this one fits really nice, just like OEM. In terms of intake, we do use the AEM dry flow filters, and we put a pre-filter on it because it does get a little dirty in the engine bay area. It is exposed. It doesn't have its own air box, but it works great as a filter, and it's awesome just to hear the turbo. It's so awesome to drive this now because the turbo noises on this thing are so defined and they're so loud, and it's just such a pleasure to drive. You don't even have to drive this fast. Other than that, I do have authentic BRE parts on this from Peter Brock. I actually went to Las Vegas and I bought them from him. So I have the BRE ducktail, the BRE racing mirrors, the 240Z racing mirrors, and also I have the BRE front air dam. I think it looks so good. It's period correct, and what's better than actually getting it from the legend, Peter Brock himself? The biggest obstacle with this sort of build, as with every single old car, is getting parts. The nice thing is the 240Z is very popular, and there's so many companies, more so now, that are making parts for this vehicle. But, you know, old cars have old car problems. I think the highlight for me was, without a doubt, being able to park this in Jay Leno's garage. The guys over there actually invited me out because they wanted me to try out their detailing products. They wanted to use some of the waterless wash on this car because at the time it was super rusty and the paint was falling off. They figured it would be a good fit to wash the car without water. And I was able to park it in the garage, in the shop. The guys were able to check it out. It was such a good experience to show them my project car.
With a complete restoration, driveline upgrade, and a Haltech Elite 1000 on board, this 240Z is more than just a weekend cruiser.
How do I feel about the project now? You know, it's just such a long time coming to kind of get it to this point. Now it's shiny. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually use it to go chase drift cars. That's originally what I used this for a lot. Every single time I had a chance to chase drift cars, because it's relatively lightweight and it had a good amount of power from the SR20, I was able to keep up with a lot of modern drift cars. So knowing what I know now, what would I do differently? When I first got it, I abused the heck out of it. I drifted it, I did burnouts, I did so much, and honestly, I wore it down pretty good. I ruined a lot of stock parts, especially the interior. I ruined a lot of OEM things, and I wish I was a little easier on the vehicle. I've done everything imaginable in this car. This is actually the car that I got married in. We attached a bunch of cans to the back and I did a fat burnout after leaving the reception. This is my car, this is my identity, this is my life. And now, after all this time, it's finally in a state that I'm happy with. It's fully restored. I just short shift and I row through the gears, and driving around town, it is honestly the best. It's so much fun and it looks amazing, and I feel like $1,000,000 every time I drive this thing.
Again, we want to thank Larry for taking time out of his incredibly busy schedule to film this Hero Spotlight for us. And we would like to thank everybody for their continued support during this difficult time and hope that they stay safe.